So, rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out.
What's going on? Welcome back to the Friendly Fade Podcast, episode 11, with Reem the Dream, Nubs, and Coquito Papi. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're feeling generous, turn on post notifications so you don't miss a banger. It's going to be interesting to see how the pick'ems unfolds with Nate, considering last week we came in with a tie record. Interesting to see who's going to take the lead here. So I'm going to let Nate get started with the pick'ems to see who got the better record as of last week when it comes to the games in the predictions. So go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I'm a little devastated. So sorry if I don't have that much energy. It's just been a rough couple of last days. For your boy. Not only college football, NFL, fantasy football. I'm taking L's out here, boys. But speaking of L's, I'm not the only one taking those. We do have a new winner. We have, like Harry kind of alluded to last week, we had a lot of different picks. So it's going to be a severe shakeup. And boy, there's a severe shakeup because we got win percentages of 63%, 59%, and 58%. So it got shook up really.
Really
so without further adu, the new leader, first-time leader, hasn't taken the reins yet. We have Harry. No, Nubs moved to 40.
Why does man look like baby alien when he does that, bro?
Yo, watch the disrespect, bro. Watch the
disrespect. But Nubs moved up there to 40 and 24 with a win percentage of 63%. So good shit. Second place, very close, 59 and 58%. But unfortunately for Kareem, he's taking that L in third. So I'm at 38 and 26, and Reem, you're at 37 and 27. So big shakeup, boys. But very good games this weekend. I think we all kind of talked about it last week that if how it unfolded, the way it unfolded, we all knew what was going to be the end result. And that's unfortunate. So for those of you who don't know, I mean, it's hard not to know. Florida State was snubbed, and we were not put into the playoff despite being 13-0 in a Power 5 conference. So we knew it was going to happen. Florida State, although it was raining and we're down to our third string quarterback. I know you guys are going to bring up the argument of Cordell Jones for, whatever you want to bring up from Ohio State. But at the end of the day, man, there's no excuse. We look sloppy on offense, but, as far as I can remember, football's always been a defensive game. And our defense came to play and was able to win the game for us. And, yeah, it looked sloppy. It looked very sloppy, tied 3-3 going into the half. And Reeman, I know we talked about it a little bit on Saturday, I think, or Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Style points came out of nowhere because it's always been a W and you're in. It don't matter how it looks. And it's just kind of funny now. I think it kind of compares to the NBA where everybody's just shooting from three. There's no more defense, right? And it's funny because we kind of contradict that now with saying, oh, we don't care about it. We want style points, right? But we're all like, oh, well, the West in the NBA don't play defense. It's kind of similar to the Pac-12, right? Or the Big Ten. Like, they don't really play defense, but, they got style points because they throw it up in the air, So I'm eager to find out, what happens to Washington when they play a good defense. Is it going to be a smoke fest, or is Penix going to be able to rise to the occasion? Eager to see, but I want to know your guys' thoughts. Let me know what you think about the FSU snub, and we're going to go into a little bit more detail after that.
Well, Nate, you make some good points, dude. However, the committee made the right decision. Simple as that, my boy. Simple as that. You even said it yourself. Y'all went to that Louisville game 3-3 at the half. Now, what is that?
I will say, though, I don't know if you guys were watching the Michigan game because I know you love hating on Florida State. Michigan was only up 10-0 at the half against Iowa.
That. I get
they
that.
also struggled the week before, too, just like everybody did in a rivalry game. So to sit here and stay, don't go where I think you're going to go. Because
yeah, I'm going to go there. Don't bring in Michigan because Michigan took care of business against Ohio State. I don't care what you say. Ohio State was a top 5 team when they beat Ohio State. Y'all went into playing a Louisville team y'all went and played an unranked Florida team and barely won that game with their backup quarterback. So
hold up. Like I said before, everybody struggled that week. So there was not a true dominant. Don't sit here and say it don't matter. How are you going to hold somebody else accountable and not hold the same team accountable?
Can I finish? I'm gonna let you go, but I need to finish. Let me finish.
Yeah, no, for sure. Right? Go ahead.
Again, y'all played a Florida team, an unranked booty Florida team at that. Like, they are sorry, my boy. I get
Washington played Washington
rivalry. I get it's a rivalry, bro. Listen to me. They had their backup quarterback in, and y'all barely skated by, bro. Barely. So that happened, right? Okay, the committee was like, okay, they won that game. Let's see what they do.
Continue,
You're not. Bro,
you're not answering the question though.
He's upset, bro.
I'm not upset. I'm trying to say, but you're trying to prove a point, but I'm trying to contradict your point right now, and you're not answering it.
I'll let you contradict.
But I want you to answer it.
Answer what are you trying to what is it? I
said how are you going to hold Florida State accountable to barely beating a Florida team that was booty, but you're not holding everybody else accountable who also struggled against their rivalry week. Georgia Tech almost beat Georgia. Auburn almost beat Alabama.
So here's the difference, Nate.
Washington State almost beat Washington.
Let me answer.
Right,
here's the difference. They struggled rivalry week. However, they came back and beat that team, or not that team, but they came back the following week and went into the championship games and won those games convincingly.
That I agree with, but don't sit here and say then the last week, FSU struggled.
No, because we're looking at that.
No picture that nobody else struggled. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. That's not what I was trying to say. I never said that. I never said that y'all were the only ones that struggled. I'm looking at it as I want to look at both weeks, your rivalry week, and then going into your championship week. I want to see what happened. What happened during those two games, and both those games, y'all struggled, man.
Yeah,
like y'all defense kept you on the game, and thank God for that, because if y'all defense was somewhat mediocre or subpar, y'all losing both those games easily. So again, the committee, the college football playoff committee, bro. At the end of the day, this is a business, dude. They're looking at it as, listen, last year we let TCU in, and they got dog walk in the championship game. And they beat
Michigan and they left them at 0 points in the semifinal. It's not like we were going to the championship game, right? So here's my argument.
Okay, I get that.
So don't get upset. I'm just trying to come back at your argument. You're poising the argument to me, and I'm answering it. So don't sit here and get all mad because I'm interrupting you. It's not the point. If you're going to say something, I want you to provide facts as opposed to something subjective and an eye test, because you only watch FSU. You don't watch everybody else.
Of course I watch everybody else. What do you mean? I watch all those games.
Okay, that week. But I'm sitting here and saying, in general, everybody watched the last 2 weeks. This is the best 2 weeks.
Of course, because that was the time when you were going into the playoffs. I need to watch those games. I need to see what those teams look like. But you have to understand, bro. Like you brought up Michigan, and Michigan's situation. They went into rivalry week playing an Ohio State team that was ranked top.
That was not my argument here. I'm saying I agree 100% that the committee is a business. We're standing on business. I get it. I'm not contradicting or arguing the fact that Florida State shouldn't have been there. That's all I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is the argument that you're trying to say why Florida State wasn't in there, because there's no argument as to really why Florida State shouldn't have been in there.
So all year,
besides the fact of ratings, that's the only reason. And if you're going to sit here and say, oh, well, it's a different business in the beginning of the season, that's why Alabama was just still getting off to the rocks, and they get the benefit of the doubt, taking an L that early and still handling business towards the end and get easily in. But the reason why Texas gets in is because Alabama gets in. And so the narrative really should have been maybe Alabama at 3 for beating the SEC champions and Florida State at 4. But since Texas so early on in the season, since we're only watching the last 2 weeks, so early on in the season, beat them, they were grandfathered in essentially. So that was my prediction. And at the end of the day, if you're going to say Jordan Travis and Florida State is that bad, they should have moved us to 6, because how is Georgia going to lose to Alabama, who's now in the playoffs, and go to all the way to 6? So there's a lot of contradictive shit out here, and there's a built narrative by the media that want to go ahead and say, oh, well, Florida State shouldn't have been in because of this. They didn't have style points. But at the end of the day, if it was any other team, it would have been, oh my God, a third-string quarterback won in the conference championship and willed them to the playoffs. But no, it's Florida State, and they want to sit here and say, oh, no, they
barely
got
won
Jordan
those
Travis
games,
out.
bro.
They're gonna say Jordan Travis. It's the easiest way to cop out. It's really the easiest way to cop out. Florida State's not the same because they struggled in a conference game, in a rivalry game with a third string and a second string in rain. But that's the easiest cop out. Florida State don't look the same. But if that was the case, and they said that in the week where we struggled against Florida, they should have never put us at 4. At that point, you should have put us at 5 with the expectation that we already know we're not getting in.
Dude, all season long, ever since the rankings came out.
Say that Jordan Travis is that important, he needs to win the Heisman. Because if they rob somebody of the fucking playoffs, 55 other kids of the playoff because of one person, I think that's kind of severe. That's like the most valuable player, apparently, because now they're not going to the playoffs. But hey, what do I know? I'm just subjective over here.
I mean, you are a Florida State fan, and you're very biased with your opinion. But
if this was Miami, how would you feel?
I would be upset, but however, I would also look at it as,
that's what I'm saying.
Damn. I mean,
I understand. I said that it's a business, and I agree. I'm not sitting here saying they don't. I'm just saying the principle and the moral side of it. That's where it's fucked up.
But real quick, I'm gonna let Harry go because he hasn't gone yet. But I'm just gonna say this: all season long, Nate, we've alluded to Florida State being the weakest out of the top 4. Every single week they were the weakest, bro. That never changed. Even with Jordan Travis. Once Jordan Travis went down, I knew it was a wrap for y'all. I called it and I told you. I was like, if y'all don't blow out these teams these next couple of weeks, y'all not making it in. All right. And I said that, and I will stand by that. But I'm going to let Harry go. Go ahead, Harry.
I don't understand why you think I'm disagreeing with you in that factor.
I'm just putting it out there for everybody else because everything. I'm just an FSU hater, but I just pointed out a fact. I just said y'all not getting in, period. But Harry, my bad. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, sorry, Harry.
No, man, y'all good. I like the back and forth action. I like the little, a little chaos back and forth. Answer that, answer this. So now I'm over here chilling, but I let kind of Kareem kind of just say all the opposing shit. But I mean, I'm with Nate on this one. I think they should have got in. I think my prediction was that Texas was gonna be the ones left out. But I mean, I get it. They beat Alabama, so if Alabama gets in, Texas has to get in. And
Texas looks good. Texas looks good.
Yeah,
bro.
I still think it's lame though. I think they deserve to be in there regardless of who went down or if they're the weakest link out of the 4. And I agree with Nate again. Like if that was the case, they should have just kind of left them at number 5 so that they didn't have to wait till the end to know that they were fucking snubbed. And just they would have knew last week that they weren't going to get in. You know what I'm saying? That would have probably been less of a heartbreaker for them. So I mean, I don't agree with them not getting in. I don't really care. Like, yeah, it's a business and whatnot, but we can't really discredit the whole undefeated season. If I always thought that as long as they win out, I don't care how ugly the games was, they were going to get in. But I mean, apparently we were wrong. So
I really wish they would have let them in
any other sport,
bro.
They don't do that in any other sport. So I don't know why all of a sudden 30 people that never played the sport get to determine who goes to the championship.
Yeah, but Nate, to be fair, bro, the college football playoff or college football as a whole, that formula has never been right, bro. When the BCS was around, yeah. Dude, when the BCS was around, everybody was getting better. Do y'all remember this when Miami got snubbed in 2000?
Yeah, and we snubbed West Virginia. West Virginia had an undefeated season, and we went in as a 1-loss.
Yes,
this is broken, bro. So hopefully
it's been horrible. It's been horrible since I can remember college football. So this is nothing new, bro. Like the college football, the committee, and like when they first introduced, oh hey guys, we have a new concept, college football playoff. And somebody made a point the other day on ESPN. They're like, when you introduced that, you said, okay, it's going to be a 14 playoff, but you got a Power 5 conference. It's like, what sense does that make? Somebody's going to get left out. You know, they should have, in my opinion, they should have started with 8 teams and then grow it from 8 to 12. But you go from 4.
Sweet. I think
for sure. Absolutely. Because now you go from 4 to 12. Okay, that's a huge jump.
They tripled it straight out of the gate, bro.
That's participation trophies right there.
Oh, facts.
6 to 8. I think 6 to 8 is good right there.
You know what's funny though? I bet you next year, number 13 gonna be crying. We got snow. We got snow.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy because I mean, unless there's 13 undefeated teams and only 12 can get in, that's what I'm saying. That's the only way that we can sit here and say somebody gets snubbed, but that's not gonna happen unless some crazy ass shit happens next year. But I really do think 12 is going to be a little bit better. But like you said, bro, we're always going to find something to complain about, right?
Yeah.
You know what's so lame also is the fact that not only did they get snubbed, but I feel for those seniors, you know what I'm saying? Especially
People that came back.
They're not coming back, and they got snubbed of a chance of winning a national championship, regardless of how weak, you know, we're gonna say the team was. You know what I'm saying? That's like people don't. Not many teams get that opportunity, or players to get that opportunity to do that. And the fact that they did everything correctly and still weren't given that opportunity is why I just think it's so lame. So,
and that's a great point, Harry. I don't know if you guys saw after I think the playoffs were announced, there was like the ACC group. Of course, they're going to be biased towards the ACC or whatever. But Eddie Royal said something really that resonated with me, and he said, "These boys ain't coming back. You guys are laughing about it, and you guys think this is funny, and you think this is cool. You know, put people in for ratings so you can get good ratings. But these kids came back for this opportunity. They ended the season so well last year. You know, I think it was like 10-2 or something like that." And they all came back knowing that they had that opportunity to come back, and they killed the transfer portal, brought in Keon Coleman, who's a beast, Jaheim Bell, you know, Johnny Wilson. Everybody came in, and it's just been, you know, one of those things that they did everything right. Like you said, Harry, they did everything. They scheduled a LSU team in the beginning of the year on a neutral site twice, last year and this year, in Louisiana and in Orlando this year. They scheduled that so they didn't have to have that bias that, oh, well, they don't play anybody. They also, unfortunately, you know, have Florida as another SEC team, but Florida didn't do nothing. The ACC had a better record against the SEC this year. To sit here and say ACC's a bunch of trash, and you're going to put the SEC just because Saban's been there the last couple times. Do you guys not remember that Clemson, the ACC team, has also been in there, and that they've won the championship, an ACC team? So if your bias is SEC, that's times too, because the ACC team should be in there. That's a Power 5 team. It's not the AAC. It's not. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to sit here and trash, you know, the Knights, UCF, but this is a Power 5 ACC conference. Yeah. And you're going to sit here and say, oh, well, the Pac-12, who doesn't play defense. The ACC, we play defense out here on these streets, boys. That's why the games are so low in scoring.
Some would argue that the Pac-12 had a better conference this year, though.
Everybody's getting better is my argument. So to sit here and just continue to throw SEC, Bama in there and create that narrative, well, if they're not in there, then nobody's going to watch. I mean, yes, they have a great following. I get that. But, dude, unfortunately, last year, TCU fucked everything up. But you guys are making it seem like this is the championship game. Like, do not forget that there's semifinals. And in the semifinals, do not forget, TCU skunked Michigan. 0 points put up. So they earned that right to go to the championship. Unfortunately, they got dogged. Their quarterback went down.
Regardless of what happened in the championship.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they earned their way there. And no other sport are they sitting here, besides figure skating, are they sitting here and judging somebody off of style points in a game to get them into the playoff that they rightfully deserve to be in, because they went undefeated. They did everything you asked for. They scheduled the hard teams. They won those games.
Besides win big.
Yeah, besides win big, that's all they didn't do. But that's ACC and the SEC. They're not gonna. They're defensive-minded conferences. It's not gonna be high score. And when did style points only be relevant for offenses? Why are they not relevant for defenses? The last 2 games, the ones that we sucked in against Florida, our defense did not allow a positive yard in the fourth quarter. Not one positive yard. The last 2 games in the fourth quarter, we have allowed negative 35 yards.
That's
wild. And you're going to sit here and say that we're not worthy of going into the conference because we don't have one player? Come on, dude. That's fucked up. It's fucked up.
Wild. That's a wild.
And I get it. You want to sit here and stand on business, and you want to get where it's all subjective. Florida State's going to get dog walked by Michigan if they were in 4. They're going to get dog walked by Washington if they went at 3. That's all subjective bullshit. We don't know. Let them go play. We were supposed to get dog walked when we went down with Jordan Travis. We weren't supposed to win any of those games. What happened? We won. Tate came in, and he put up 58 points unanswered.
Oh, come on. Yes, come on. Hey, come on. Who was that against? Who was that against?
P3 school, but once again, if you want style points and you want to sit here and make the argument that, oh, well, Michigan handled their business all year, that they did this, that, and the third. We handled our business all year against D3 schools too. We put up 66 against Southern Miss. We put up 58 against Northern Alabama, and everybody else, an SEC team or an ACC conference team. I mean, what else could they have done? Don't sit here and say, oh, well, it's business, because that's not right. This isn't a business in the sense of let's snub somebody to put somebody else in who lost. They didn't only put one loss team, they put two. Come on, dude. That is creep.
Real quick, Nate, question for you, man, and we can move on. Who do you think, if you were the committee, who would you replace, or who would you put FSU in place of?
Texas,
it all depends, bro. I mean,
Texas.
I mean, honestly, if we want the true ones that earned it and deserve it, you take Texas out. Okay. Because
that's fair.
If you want ratings, I agree with what the committee did. I get it. I 100% agree. I'm not sitting here because honestly, bro, watching Louisville, it was tough that game to watch. As a fan, there was no offensive anything. And I get why you guys say what you say.
That shit was trash, bro.
But what you guys aren't talking about is the defense in that game. And what football originated was defense. Remember Pittsburgh Steelers? You guys remember the Chicago Bears?
Nobody cares about defense anymore, Nate.
No.
You guys remember?
All of a sudden now, defense doesn't win championships. All of a sudden.
You guys remember Ray Lewis?
Defense. Unfortunately, defense don't sell tickets, dog. That's just the way it goes.
And I get that. But at the end of the day, bro, like this is the only sport I've ever seen something like this, where 30 people that haven't played the game, have never stepped foot on a field, get to determine the people that do step out on the field and earn their spot. They get to determine who gets to go in those spots. Like that's fucked up, bro. Like that is creep off of eye test. Subjective eye test. Well, this person didn't look good against this, so I think they're going to struggle against this person. But shit, that person struggled last week against a rivalry team too. So there's no true dominant team this year. Why not put in FSU? You're going to put in Saban's team because if not, everybody in Alabama is going to bitch and complain. Oh my God, another year without the Bama in there. It's going to be another TCU. It's a media narrative, bro.
I want to say Bama earned their spot though because they beat a number one team, bro. And you can't
100%. But they have an L.
Take that away from Bama.
But I get that. I get all that. But at the end of the day, they have an L, bro. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you end the season. So what you're saying is what you do in the beginning is irrelevant. It don't matter what you do in the beginning. If you take an L early on, it don't matter, kid. You can still make it, buddy. Don't worry. Just beat the SEC team in the championship, and you're guaranteed to go in. It doesn't matter about anything else.
And to be fair, if you guys would have lost early in the season, y'all wouldn't even be in the conversation.
Not even in the conversation at all. But they found a way to win every game, bro. How do you take that away from them? Maybe they win against Michigan. Who knows? It's all subjective to sit here and say,
we'll never know.
They're going to get blown out by Michigan, dog.
We'll never
Georgia Tech didn't get blown out. And Georgia Tech beat Miami, and we beat Miami. And, you know, there's all these little trickle-down effects that we can sit here and say. But, bro, like, it's all subjective bullshit. So I'm sorry to rant. I had a lot of built-up aggression on that one. I told Kareem
he's been saving this, bro.
We're gonna take it out.
Nate caught the fucking Kareem-itis, bro.
Dog, facts. I'm sitting here like,
damn.
I pulled the Kareem for sure, bro. But it brings me to my next point. You know, if a team can go undefeated and win the conference in the ACC, how does that affect recruiting? What do you guys think?
Bro, I mean, to me, I think it's gonna take a big hit on recruiting, especially in the ACC. The ACC was already going downhill. That's number one. So with this happening now, a lot of kids will be like, "Yo, best bet is SEC," because remember,
Big Ten.
Big Ten as well. Because remember, Texas and Oklahoma are going over to SEC next year. Mm-hmm. All right, so now that's a lot more big teams going over to Southeastern Conference. ACC, there's rumors, there's rumbles of Florida State possibly leaving, Clemson possibly leaving, and Miami following suit. Florida State leaves, Miami's for sure leaving. I can tell you that. I'm not sure if they both end up in the SEC or they respectively go to the Big Ten, SEC, whichever it is, they're going to a bigger conference, a better conference.
Or they can pull a Notre Dame and go independent.
Nah, ain't nobody trying to. Bro, that's the hardest way to get in. Like if you go that route, you don't have a championship game under your belt at the end of the season to solidify your position going into the playoffs, and you need that championship game. So yeah, I think it's gonna affect recruiting big time. And I think, bro, we might be seeing the beginning, the end of the ACC as we know it.
Do you think we might be seeing the ending of conferences at all? Like, I mean, at this point, there's only two that really matter. It's either you're in the Big Ten or you're in the SEC. Everything else is looked at as cupcakes.
I think it's gonna become an NFL to where you have AFC, NFC, and then within you have divisions. You have 4 divisions within each. That right there, bro. Oh my goodness.
That would solve a lot of problems.
That would solve a lot of problems because then you can go the NFL route, forget a freaking committee. Then you just go by record, seeding, and then you get in. It don't matter if you win by 1 point. As long as you win in, you're gonna get in. So I think that's gonna be very interesting. I think we'll eventually see that because Pac-12 is done. As of next year, there's no more. So that's one Power 5 conference gone. Boom. ACC might be gone very soon after. Boom. And then you got Big 12 right after that. So that leaves you 2. Yeah. So, like I said, I think it's going to happen. We'll see that in the next 10 years or so.
So you think that it does impact recruiting?
Absolutely. 100%.
For the AC. Okay. Harry?
Yeah.
No, I like how you put that together. That was a nice little take you had there as far as where the future is headed with the whole seeding and the divisions and whatnot.
Yeah.
But long story short, I mean, I think it affects recruiting, but not because of this FSU snub, only because of what Kareem was alluding to with Texas and Oklahoma going over to the SEC. So I think that's more of a reason to that it will affect the ACC in terms of recruiting. Not so much the FSU snub, just because I think they were just looking for a cop out since Travis went down to get you guys out of there. So I think if Travis stays healthy, and it doesn't matter how you guys won that game, you guys get in. If Travis is on the field, y'all are in there. I
agree.
Or if Texas doesn't beat Bama in the very beginning, because the only reason why Texas is there is because they beat Bama.
For sure.
Right. And even then, even if they still beat Bama, I think if you guys had Jordan Travis, I don't think they would have snubbed you guys. I may be wrong, but that's just my opinion. So, I mean, I just think that when it comes to the ACC recruiting, what's going to affect it the most is those top teams moving to the SEC, because, they're already out here putting just nothing but SEC teams in the playoffs. So that just kind of helps that narrative a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Agreed. 100%.
So I'm indifferent about this one. I think it does and it doesn't. I think since we have NIL, I think the bag's going to make the noise, right? It don't matter if it's the conference right now, because every kid seems to be wanting to get the bag. Nobody has loyalty. If that team's trash that year, they're jumping in the transfer portal. Like, they're out of there, bro. And whichever team, I don't know who it is. Somebody just said, oh, it was actually one of the edge rushers from Florida State talking about he wants an endorsement of $1 million. Y'all boys really think y'all really think that y'all should be getting $1 million out here like that? Like, I mean, I get it, get your bag, but like, don't make a decision just off of the bag, in my opinion. Like, I'm going somewhere to compete. And if you got somewhere where you're building a team and they looking at, I'm going to go, I'm going to go. And I'm going to prove that, I have that loyalty and I'm going to make that team better. But to make a decision off of money, which I think is what's going to happen, it's going to be a little bit tougher to pull, because I don't think the ACC teams really have all that money besides Miami, maybe, because they got that cocaine money. But, I don't know if it has that much of an impact. It just depends on the school. And I don't really think ACC is going to have that much money to pull in these big recruits. So at that point, if I'm a recruit and you're not offering me a bag, I'm going to either go where the bag is or the SEC, because you just proved to me that it don't matter if you're in the ACC. If you win all out, it don't matter. I could still get in with one loss if I'm in the SEC. So, it is what it is. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, and to kind of like compare what you're saying in terms of loyalty and getting the bag. Something that I like to compare that to is the fact that like changing the sport a little bit, like boxing. Nobody wants to go to the Olympics anymore because obviously that's not where the money is. Like being an Olympic boxer, is such a prestigious thing. Like to have that under your belt is like a big deal back in the day.
Yeah.
And now nobody's doing it.
Yeah.
These guys are becoming pros 16, 17, 18 years old. They're like, fuck the Olympics. That doesn't pay me.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think that's the Floyd Mayweather effect. You know what I'm saying? He kind of put that on the map to, you know, fuck this whole competing thing. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's a combat sport. Like you would think, oh, I'm fighting to be the best, but at the end of the day, people are going to take the bag. And, you know, I just wanted to throw out there in terms of that comparison, what I think is similar. So,
yeah, agree. Very good comparison.
That's a good point, boys. That's a good point. Any final thoughts on that?
I'm done talking about this shit. I don't ever want to bring this up.
My dog is hurt, man. But we're gonna stick to the subject of football, man. We're gonna switch over to the pros. Switch over to the NFL, man. We'll get into that quick 5-minute fade. So y'all boys, we're heading into week 14. As of right now, you know, the seedings are as is, and I'm gonna name them out for you. So in the AFC, we have the Miami Dolphins at 9-3. We have the Baltimore Ravens at 9-3. Jacksonville Jaguars at 8-4, and the Kansas City Chiefs at 8-4. So they're the division leaders, and then obviously on top of that, you'll have 2 wildcard teams, right?
Yep.
Is it 2 or 3, Nate? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it's 2.
Is it 2 wildcard teams? Okay, so yeah, so in the NFC, we have the Eagles at 10-2, Lions at 9-3, Falcons, at 6-6. They get in because they win their division, right? So if the playoffs were to start today, they'll be in. And then the Niners at 9-3.
Falcons sounded like Florida State.
So let's and obviously, you know, you have like I said, you got your wild card teams like the Cowboys that are most likely going to get in. You probably got like the Seahawks that might get in. And you know, on the other side, you might have maybe the Bills, the Broncos, and maybe the Houston Texans. Who knows? I mean, CJ Stroud's been they might sneak in as a wild card team. So with that being said,
I like that team.
How do y'all see the playoffs unfolding? Should it start today? Like what? Like I want to hear both sides, NFC and AFC. Like who are the strongest teams right now, and who can make the most noise going into the playoffs?
You want the top person in each division? Or
No. I just want you to tell me like playoff. I told you the standings, and if the playoffs started today, who do you think will make the most noise?
Who's in the wild card again? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, the wild card, you would have the Dallas Cowboys for the NFC side, most likely the Seahawks. And your third wild card team will probably be either the Vikings or the Packers. Again, there's a lot more football to play, so we don't know exactly. So I'm just saying those are the teams right now that are in the hunt to get into the playoffs.
Okay, so you want my top 4?
Just tell me, like, who do you think will make the most noise? Like, tell me who do you think
just one person? Oh, okay,
can really contend? Like, no, I need your basically give me your AFC side, and then give me your NFC side, and then from there, I would, you know, that will be your Super Bowl prediction. Who will come out both conferences?
For me, I gotta say, out of the AFC, man, it's really hard for me to say this, man. I think it's either Baltimore or the Dolphins. That fucking sucks. Dog, damn, I'll take another L today, bro.
Say that again for the people in the back.
Yachts. But my sleepers low key might be Houston and I don't know how the severity of Jacksonville or Trevor Lawrence's ankle.
Yeah,
I like that team. It's a sneak team, just like they did last year. I don't know if they make a lot of noise, but I really like them.
A little dark horse, yeah.
A little dark horse, you know, nothing wrong with that. The NFC, I got the Niners coming out of that. I don't think there's anybody else that contends. So I guess what we're really going to talk about is maybe second on this one. So I think like anybody, it's either like Dallas or Philadelphia. I don't really like Philadelphia. It kind of brings me back to what we talked about 17 episodes ago when I said the real concern was in Philly. And it's showing. I mean, their record doesn't reflect it, but we see that eye test. And if we want to point eye test, we can clearly see that they've been sneaking and barely getting by, right?
Yeah, and they got blown out last week.
And they got exposed by a team that was talking hella shit, bro.
Hella shit. Walking into the game, bro. Bully ball. Like Debo was Debo. Like,
bro. Yeah, like Debo for real.
he came in there snatching their fucking chains, bro.
Dog, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, his statement from last year freaking aged beautifully. That's why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all saw he wore black forces?
Yeah, black forces. The whole Niners team showed up in all black because they said they were coming for a funeral. They showed up for a funeral.
Oh,
No, they were talking hella shit.
Christian
bro.
McCaffrey. They said Christian McCaffrey was looking like Tommy Egan, dog. Walking into the stadium.
You're lying, bro. You're lying.
I swear.
No, that's wild.
Dog.
Yeah,
That's hilarious, bro.
And you know what? It was a funeral, bro.
Facts, bro.
buried them boys.
Put it on them, bro.
Yeah,
Bro, I hope Brock Purdy wins that NFL MVP, bro.
me too. I like that kid,
hope
bro.
he does.
I'm a
love that
fan.
kid, bro.
I'm a
I
fan of
like
my dog, man.
And that MVP race is wild because the fact that Dak and Brock Purdy are in there, that's wild to me, dog.
Yeah, dog.
Dak's been playing solid.
Yeah,
This is what Dak
they've been
does,
playing
though.
Off the chart. They've been playing off the chart.
Yeah, no, I really like. I think that kid got
I'll take that
exposed.
schedule.
But they also that kid Bland got exposed last week. But
Yeah.
the kid that had like 5 pick sixes to the crib,
Yeah,
he got exposed. But he also had a pick.
he did.
but he got
DK,
exposed.
DK cooked his ass.
Yeah, bro, he got like 200 yards put up on him or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
That's
yeah. between DK and Tyler Lockett, he was getting cooked.
Good.
Yeah,
But I think I got Dallas making the contention against the 49ers in that one. Sleeper dark horse though. I definitely like what I'm seeing out of Minnesota. If Josh Dobbs catch traction and they get JJ back, I think that team can make a little run. So,
all right. Ain't bad. All right, Harry, what about you, my boy? What you see? How do you see this unfolding?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on par pretty much with Nate. I mean, with Baltimore and Miami, just because those Chiefs they don't look really good. I don't know, man. There's something going on there, and all of a sudden I don't believe in them because they look terrible.
they got no receivers.
Zero.
It's funny because like Sam asked me on Monday night if I was gonna watch the game, and I was like, or actually
Sunday night. It was Sunday night.
Yeah, it was Sunday night. And I was like, it's not going to be interesting. Kansas City's going to win that game easily. And then, I wake up the next day and I see what the hell unfolded, and I watch the highlights, and I'm just like, what in the hell is going on here?
Jordan Love looked like a prime Aaron Rodgers out there, bro.
Bro, he's looking like a Hall of Fame QB out there.
Yeah.
Insane.
That
So I mean, I don't really believe in them too much. I know they did beat us, but I think Miami, can make a run at them, especially in a rematch. Baltimore's playing well, so I mean, if I'm gonna pick one, I'm gonna be a little biased. I'm gonna take the Dolphins, but again, on the NFC, I think the 49ers are the favorite to win the whole thing. I think it's kind of evident. We were kind of talking about how there's not really a team that's like that dominant, but I think they're kind of rising and kind of
they're surging.
They're putting the rest of the league on notice right before the playoffs type of thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they're the favorite in my opinion. But as far as the dark horse, who am I going to take there? Because I don't like, even with Dobbs, I don't think they're gonna be able to make a run there. But you mentioned that other team. What was the other team you said?
Cowboys. You mentioned the Cowboys.
Oh no, yeah. They've been playing well, but there's no way I'm gonna say the Cowboys are gonna make the run just because I don't believe in them like that, and they haven't played anybody. So Philly does look a little sus, but I still think they're gonna be there at the end of the day because they'll find a way to win those games.
They will. They'll improve. They'll get better. They'll get better, man.
Right.
And they play Dallas this weekend, boys. So stay tuned for that. That's gonna tell us a lot. This game is gonna tell us a lot about both teams.
And watch how Dak looks against this defense. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, because he didn't look good last time they played against each other. Right. So yeah, keep that in mind, man. But I'll make my pick quick, pretty short, man. I think for me, NFC 49ers easily. I think they're the number one. I think they're the favorite for sure. And I think as a dark horse, I mean, you think it's crazy to say a dark horse, right? I think the next best thing will be the Eagles. Yeah, they got blown out last week. However, there's a few more games left to play, and I think they will get better and they will improve. I don't believe in the Cowboys, so I'm not even going to put them in there. They haven't played nobody until they show me that they can beat somebody and a few people, a few good teams. Then I'll start rocking with them. And same goes for Miami. Moving over to the AFC side, I'm not going to put Miami in there yet because I need Miami to beat a couple good teams.
Let's go.
All right,
Okay.
I'm going to need them to beat the
same
Cowboys
energy.
on December 24th. All right, show me you can beat a team like that. Right?
Who do they play? Who do they play?
The Cowboys, December 24th.
Oh, if we lose to that team, we're cheeks, bro.
Yeah.
We're cheeks.
Show me you can beat the Cowboys, and then show me you can beat the Ravens because we play the Ravens at the end of the season.
Bro, if we don't beat that inconsistent ass team, I'm gonna be hot, dog.
If Miami shows me that they can beat the Cowboys and beat the Ravens, I'm gonna put them as a lock for the AFC. But as of right now, if we're speaking today, the Ravens look good, bro. Their defense is insane. They got some rough riders on that defense, man, and they're low key scary. I'm as a Dolphins fan, I'm not looking forward to that game. I'll be honest with you, man. And we're playing in Baltimore. So I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, if I had to pick today, what Super Bowl matchup we're looking at, we're probably looking at the Ravens and the Niners, man. If
that's a spanking, bro.
Ravens, Niners, and I think Lamar gets shut down. That Niners defense is no joke, my boy.
Bro, that game would be ugly, bro.
I don't know about ugly, but you know what? You might be right.
That game would be ugly, bro.
I don't know. I don't really see anybody stopping that. If they come out every game like how they came out with that vengeance against Philadelphia, bro, I don't see a team.
Bro, Christian McCaffrey,
my
Debo
dog,
Samuel,
bro.
Brandon Ayuk, my dog Purdy. Brock Purdy is looking good. All right.
I mean, dog, you better look good. You have 3 All-Pro guys on your.
Don't do that. Come on,
side,
bro. Don't take that away from him, dude.
Like, I'm not. He's playing amazing, but let's not. You know.
No, we know.
I just named. He doesn't have all the tools to get to where he's
I get it, but notice how I just named the players in the Niners. I didn't start with Brock Purdy. I started with the playmakers. I started with the Debo, McCaffrey, Ayuk. Trent Williams. Let's not forget the best left tackle in the NFL. I mean, protection matters. And then you got Brock Purdy. You throw Purdy in there as a solid quarterback and potential MVP winner. And you're like, damn, bro, like that team is unstoppable. And their defense, don't get me started on that defense, bro. Like they get better every week. Like the 49ers are fun to watch, bro. They're so damn good. And I hope they make it, bro, because last year Purdy got injured. They lost 4 quarterbacks throughout the year, so they didn't have a fair shot, man. So I hope this year those guys stay healthy and they really can show us what they can do with a full and healthy squad, man.
Yeah, and to go back to your point where the Dolphins have to show you guys a W against the Ravens, the Cowboys, and the only other team I would have to add on there would be the New York Jets.
We already beat y'all, but.
December 17th. Thank you.
We already beat y'all. we already cooked y'all out of 1 game. And that was in New York. That was in New York. All right. Miami's undefeated.
And you want to know what? Since we're sitting here talking shit, according to the NCAA committee, this math adds up right here. We beat you guys. You guys beat the Eagles and the Bills. So that means Miami is fucking elite, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, number one seed. We're getting in. Hey, we're getting in the playoffs, baby.
Great.
Man.
Hey, great comparison there, Harry.
I like it, man. Shoot. All right, boys. Any final thoughts before we move on to the next one?
No, I'm good, man.
All right, bet. So I want to finish it with this, man. So I kind of like the subject because Harry, I mean, we've talked a lot in the past, and obviously with employers and the interview process or whatnot. So I've always asked myself, this is something I've always asked myself, right? And I wanted to bring it up to y'all. Like, do y'all think employers should hire based off previous job experience or by interview performance and how you perform during an interview?
Okay, so I'm gonna go first. We're gonna do this clockwise thing again. So it's funny that Kareem kind of put this on the agenda today because obviously it's something that I'm kind of going through at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to go too deep into it as far as how this concerns me and whatnot. But I definitely feel that job experience should outweigh how you really answer your questions on an interview. I mean, mostly depending on what type of position that you're applying for. Because I mean, I do feel that those situational questions are important when you're interviewing for like a management role. Like they're ideal, and it makes sense because you're going to be in those type of situations as that leader and as those people leaders. So that I do not have any blowback on. But it's just the fact if I'm kind of just applying for like a regular position to where I'm not management, but I'm just normal staff, then I feel like that those situational questions kind of go out the window, and you should just go by job experience and how how they perform in their last roles and whatnot, especially if they've been within the company and within different roles and they've excelled in every single one. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's as far as I have, and I'm gonna keep it just that simple. So I'm just interested to see what you guys have to say in terms of that.
Yeah. So I agree with you 100% on depends on the job, right? So in that aspect, any job that's like a senior accountant or senior management position where you have to have a certain skill set, you definitely need experience, right? You just can't come out of college and be like, oh, well, I got my CPA, I'm going to go for a senior accountant position. No, we got to go through the accountant position, junior accountant, something like that. So I think it's mainly off of performance, but if you're, I mean, after based off of experience, but if it's just a job where you can be taught the position or you can be taught something, it can be a little bit of both. It just really all depends on the factors, really. But in those positions where it's a teachable job, you can go off of mainly how the interview went, how you get a good vibe off of somebody, because a resume might not speak about the person, right? You want to get to know the person in person. That way you're able to get that vibe and see if that's something that truly fits the work environment for your particular company. But for me, I gotta say it's really got to be based off of your job experience. Because like you said, man, like if you're in a position that you know more than somebody and you have to take orders from somebody that doesn't know anything, they're just coming in and don't know the position, it's hard to respect that person because you're the one who taught them their job. And now you have to take orders from them. And I've dealt with that a lot, especially with being at a young age manager coming in. I have experience managing, but I don't have experience in this particular field managing. I don't know the ins and outs, right? And I'm also younger than these people. They're a little bit older. So to have them teach me the ins and outs, and I'm younger than them, it makes it a little bit harder for me to manage them because you have to then build that respect up, right? Okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to make the right decisions. I'm going to include you, so that way you make them feel, included and like their opinion is valued. And, you do your management shit. So it all just depends on the job, really.
Well said, man. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, man, job experience should always take precedence over how you perform during an interview, man. Because some people just perform really well in an interview because they're just good at it, but then they're really shit at the job.
Facts.
And then you potentially pass up on a really good person, that is good at the job and that has a job experience because they bombed their interview. It could just be because they're nervous, man. Like they're nervous, like they have a little bit of anxiety, so they couldn't really answer the questions. Like you put them in a position where it's like, bro, you're like you got the lights on you, like all eyes on you. A lot of people can't perform well in those situations, right?
It's like testing.
Like, it's like testing, right? So a lot of people, don't fare well in interviews, and they miss out on jobs that they would be a perfect fit for. And these employers fail to see that, man, and it sucks because we all know that one person at our job, they were like, "How the hell did you get hired?" And you're thinking, you're like, "Damn, you must have done well in your interview, and you got hired." And you're like, "Bet I'm good, I'm set. I'm just gonna kick back and chill, and then y'all can take care of everything else." Right? We all know that one person. Everybody can speak to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like when these recruiters and these employers are doing rack and stacking like resumes. Like they should always look at, man, like who's the most fit for the job. As far as the interview process, I think it should just be a formality. It should just be like, hey, we're just gonna bring you in because I want to meet you in person. Like put a face to the name. I'm not gonna, I might ask you a couple questions here and there, but I think it should just be like an introduction type thing. I don't think it should be a legit like interview, like to where you're investigating this person, you're asking them these hard ass questions, like what would you do in this scenario, like, and you know how it goes, bro. Like they ask you some questions, you're like, well, I mean, you just don't know until you get there, right? Until you're in that situation. I mean, I could sit there and just make things up as I go, but sometimes they see right through it and they're like, yeah, this guy's full of shit. It's like, no, dude, like look at my resume and my numbers and everything I've done in the past speak for yourself. You should put that first and then be like, okay, you know what? You might not have answered those questions, very well. However, because of your resume and who you are, I see it as a person, I'm willing to still give you that chance. And I think employers need to do that more, right? And I think they would have a better, better work what do you call it? Field, of just like better culture of their employees, probably with better work ethic, and probably less of a revolving door, So,
and I don't want to play devil's advocate on this because I mean, to take it out of any context related to anybody, HR's position is pretty hard, guys. I've done a lot of interviewing. There's not a lot of qualified candidates. You have to get whoever you can, right? So, like I said, take it out of Harry's context because Harry may be qualified or whatever the case may be, but we're talking about in general, right? A generalized statement. If there's not a lot of qualified candidates, they're gonna have to get who they can to get into that position. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying you're in that position. You're probably in that particular situation. You're probably not going to get the best qualified candidates, but you're trying to complete a requisition, right? Just like anybody, HR has deadlines. They have to get requisitions closed. So if Harry's positions or anybody's position's been posted on Indeed for 30 days, they're going to start asking, why hasn't anybody filled that role? Well, you want this many qualifications, maybe we should slim it down to this, and maybe we can see a lot more applicants come in. So not to play devil's advocate, because I'm 100% on board. You need to look off of job experience for sure first, especially in those key roles, but that job is hard. My aunt does it and she has a lot of requisitions on her file and she shows me, and it's just like, they got to get who they can. And it's really hard nowadays, especially if you're not hiring for a remote position.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do remote. So if you're hiring for a job that you have to be in person for, like i.e. nurses or something like that, it's a little bit harder, because now nurses are going to try to stronghold you like, hey, pay me this compensation because there's not many of me that want to come in and do this. We want to travel nursing, right? They want to go and do all the things that they want to do. So, it's hard, bro. So I get it why we want to create that strong work culture. We want to get the right people in. We want to, build this to have the best qualified candidates. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Right. And so I got a few things here in terms of kind of going back to what Kareem says. So, knowing that coworker that's a shit worker. But the thing about that is that shit worker probably is very good at selling themselves in the interview. Right. And that's how they were able to get to where they're at. So, I mean, that's one thing I got there, which I think, things are flawed because of that, because I'm telling you, like this happens all the time. I see it within my company right now. So it's wild. So, the system is a little bit flawed in terms of that perspective. But something else that I have written down here is the fact that you kind of compared it to like being in a room testing, and at least in a test, like you have multiple choice and you have a 25% chance of getting that question right. If you don't even know what the fuck's going on, like you don't know the answer, so it's kind of like, okay, you're guessing, but at least you still got a 25% chance of getting it right. Whereas if you're in one of these interviews, first off, it's not like most times now you have a panel. It's not like it's one person that's interviewing you. You got three people interviewing you. Yeah. So that's intimidating already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sure. So like, especially not only that, and then they ask you a question that you've never even been in that type of situation, and now you have to completely make up the answer. Like, it's that's not really going to tell you much in terms of what I'm capable of. You know what I'm saying? And with those type of questions, a lot of people are not going to get the opportunity that they deserve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a disservice. That's a disservice to you, and that's a disservice to the employer as well, man. Because you're not really getting a correct, like a sincere answer from that person. So why even put that out there in the first place?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Once again, not to play devil's advocate, there's different testing. I was talking more so like the essay testing, not the multiple choice. When I did economics, it had to be all like essay
Written out.
yeah, written out your answer
Oh,
and everything like
dude,
that. So
those are the worst.
those type of testings, that shit scares me, bro. Because
Oh,
like
yeah, for sure.
it's like an interview, right? Where you're on the spot, you're like, oh fuck, bro. How
Yeah.
I can't Christmas tree this shit. You know
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
gotta
saying?
make
Like,
something up, bro.
fuck, bro. Like I gotta explain this shit
Bro.
now. And you know, so I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but you know, at the same time, bro, like I get it. I 100% get it. And I feel that 100%. And I really don't get what employers truly get from asking those questions, like, you know, those situational questions, or, you know, tell me a time where you persevered in the work environment. Like, bro, come on, dog. Like,
What?
you see my numbers? Look at my production, bro. My production speaks for itself. I've been doing this for 15 years. Like, come
Yeah.
on, bro. Like, I'm not a little kid. I'm not coming out of college. I've been doing this for years. Like, I'm very well deserving of this senior management position. So the only thing that I can argue, and I hate to play devil's advocate this whole fucking episode, but the only thing that I can think of that they can get from that is charisma. And as a manager, anybody in a senior management position, you have to have charisma. So it goes to the point of you guys saying, hey, you could be a good interviewer and be a shit employee, but if you interview well, you'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's where that kind of ties into play, where, you know, they may be good at interviewing, but they may be a shit person, you know, or a shit employee. So, I mean, that's all I got.
No, and you're right, because like I see it all the time right now, to where I know 100% like this certain individual is not that great of a worker, but then when you go into a meeting and you're presenting something and they're speaking, they're able to, you know, speak in a
Articulate,
way
bro.
to, or exactly. And
Yep.
and people kind of like they like that, especially in
Yeah.
a management role. So I get it, you know what I'm saying? But it's just unfortunate for some people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm kind of in that position at my job now, and it's kind of hard because I'm getting an opportunity, right? And you know, the managers see me and they want me to start taking calls now and start, you know, handling the production calls and monthly meetings and stuff like that, because they want to get my face out there to management, because they think that I have that charisma, right? But I don't know shit about this project, right? So it's hard for me to articulate well on something I don't know, because I don't know what I don't know, right? So, you know, while yes, I'm grateful for that opportunity to make myself known to management, I don't want to come off like I don't know what I'm talking about to management. So while I'm grateful for that opportunity, I think it's too early, you know? So for me, I got to kind of realize, hey, I got to take a step back and learn the P's and Q's of everything for this particular project before I can go out there and articulate well to the senior managers, the people, the project managers, to all the people that are higher up. So I don't get hit with a question that I'm not going to know an answer to. Right. So, you know, that's the only thing that I can think of comes from interviewing. That charisma, that ability to think on the spot and answer, because in crunch time, when you're in those senior management roles, you're going to have to make those decisions. They're going to be hard decisions to make, especially if it's like one of those on the spot. You got to like, hey, it's depending on this, that, and the third, right? Like, so I've seen it all happen. I've been doing management for years now. I'm so grateful that I'm not in management anymore. I don't want to go back to management, because that is such a hard job to do when you're responsible for everyone else's work and not your own. It's super hard to manage. I hate that. I like to be, you know, my own work speaks for itself. You know, look at my work. It'll, you know, prove its own. I hate having to depend on somebody and make their work look good, because at that point it's kind of like that kid in the group where they don't do anything, and then you have the other kid that does everything, and you know, at that point it
They
becomes
all get the same grade. Yep, I like that. That was well said.
Y'all both hit it right around the head, man. There's not much I want to add, but I just want to make one last point. Nate, you kind of talk about it just a little bit there. These employers, man, like they're not finding, the right candidates, and because their qualifications might be a little too high. At the same time, man, these employers need to chill out with this. You got to have a master's degree, but we're only paying you $40K a year. Like, bro, what?
Facts.
Come on, man.
Do you understand how much that master's degree cost me?
Yeah,
dude, it's crazy. And I've seen these
40 grand times 2. That's how much.
And I've seen these ads, these job ads on Indeed, and like some people have like reposted them, and they're like, yo, like this is what they're asking for, man. They're asking for you to have a master's degree, and they're paying $40K a year. Like,
can anybody live off of 40K? Maybe we need to talk on that on the next podcast. I think we talked about something close to this where it's like minimum wage, but let's talk about an actual salary next.
Like a salary. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
What do you think is an actual livable wage as opposed to you think minimum wage is livable? Let's do something like that next time.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I think that'd be a great topic, man, because I mean, right, like that's always a hot topic, in every conversation you get into, it's always
like that changes yearly too.
Oh, dude! I mean, as the years go by, the numbers go up. It's not like it's going down.
That pay goes down, baby. That pay goes down.
Yeah,
I also like this question because it's we're all gonna have a different answer for sure. That's why I like this one.
Yeah. Okay, because I mean, really, like what 10 years ago, 100K, you're like, damn, you were balling, my boy. Now you're making 100K, you're like, damn, so you living, huh? you're barely living. It'd be like that, bro. But yeah, man, y'all boys. Any final thoughts?
I'm good, man.
Fuck you, Kareem. I love you, bro.
Always. Can't wait to see y'all boys in a couple weeks, man. We are coming down,
go, baby.
Just a few days away. Can't wait to see my dogs, man. We're about to get on that golf course. About to get on that course. Yes, sir. Hit that round. You about to see the Friendly Fade boys golfing. It's about to be a shit show.
For everybody watching, we will be together for a couple of weeks while we're in town together. So I think we're gonna shoot for putting together 2 episodes together as far as being in the same setting. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Beautiful. I cannot wait for that, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm gonna show y'all the tally tradition of golfing. I don't know if you guys, what a shotgun is, right? Where you poke the bottom and you shotgun.
Yeah.
Right. On the golf course, we poke the bottom of the beer with the tee, and we keep the tee in there, and we drive off the tee, and the tee moves to create the hole for you to pick up and then chug off of. Super fun, bro. Super fun. That's just gonna be. We're gonna be fucked up by hole number 4.
You're gonna have to record that. We're
We're gonna be fucked up by hole number 4, though. Just to let you know if we do that.
All right,
let's do it. I'm ready for that.
all right, for sure. But yeah, man. Anything else y'all want to add before I let y'all go?
Take us home, baby.
All right, man. Again, thank you all for watching, man. Y'all boys, it was a fun episode. Talk about some good things. I know me and Nate got a little heated at the beginning there.
I turned into Reed, boy.
It's all good. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, thank you again for watching. We appreciate y'all as always. And obviously stay tuned for the next couple episodes. It's gonna be a good one. We're all gonna be together as Harry said. So yeah, appreciate y'all and see you on the next one.
Peace.